Hi, my name is Michael Woodall. I'm hiding behind this veil because I'm really scared. And I have this deep, deep fear of someone finding out about me. For over 12 years now, people know me as their neighborhood child molester. It isn't true. I'm not. And I never did. My neighbors don't know that it's not true. The government is telling them that it is true and that they should fear me. I'm a danger to society. They are teaching kids about stranger danger. Make sure you don't let your kids play in front of my house. Don't even ride your bike down my street. You never know what could happen. You see, in 1998, I filed for divorce. I decided I was never ever going to the emergency room again to have glass shards removed from my skull from my wife's violent attacks. Since my wife is a flight attendant for American Airlines and was gone 48% of the month, well, I just knew I would get custody of my 3 children. And all I wanted was 50-50 custody with equal shared responsibility. On February 28th, 1999, my wife came to me with a proposition. I prefer to call it an ultimatum. She said, "I know how much you love your kids. But if you don't give me 100% custody and $6,000 a month, I'm going to see to it that you will never see your kids again. And I will also make sure that no other woman in her right mind would ever have you." I told her to screw off and to get out of my face. I should have taken her a lot more seriously, knowing what she's capable of. On June 1st, 1999, while I was working, I got arrested for molesting my 7-year-old daughter. I was handcuffed. In front of the world. You see, my wife taught my 7-year-old about good and bad touches. Then she hired Dr. Myra Burt to get my 7-year-old daughter to state that when daddy touches her chest, it's a bad touch. So, Dr. Myra Burt, on a quest to extract this from my 7-year-old daughter, was then obligated to report it. Dr. Myra Burt admits this in her deposition on my website at iwantmydad.com. Dr. Myra Burt reported something that never happened, so my ex could win custody of my children. I spent every dime, every last dime that I had and could borrow until I was broke, until I was homeless, to save my family from this never-ending nightmare. My attorneys abandoned me to the public pretender when the cash stopped flowing. I've spent over 12 years in a living nightmare, crying night after night, missing my kids. I went 5 years without seeing my kids' faces. Legally kidnapped for me. When I was in jail, my ex-wife told them I just abandoned them. "12 years of depression, 12 years of fear of neighbors finding out, 12 years of vigilantes posting my picture on telephone poles, 12 years of my home being invaded and robbed, vandalized. Oh, let's talk about jobs. Oh, I had jobs 2 or 3 weeks at a time till they found out. Had one for 90 days once. 12 years of being so paranoid, wondering if the people in restaurants or the movies or grocery store would recognize me. 12 years of my kids experiencing the most awful embarrassment that is uncalled for. Hiding behind this veil, afraid to come out, afraid and fearful to talk about it with anyone, hoping I can keep it a secret. The stigma just too much. Sometimes I just want to end it all. Death is a peaceful alternative to this kind of living. 3 years ago, my kids and I were about to share the truth with an attorney about how it was all a lie, about how my daddy never touched me and never would. But just at freedom's door, they became so afraid and fearful that their mom would go to jail for the lies and what she did if they told the truth. They said they just can't take the risk of sending their mom to jail. 10 years of hope, dead at the doorstep of freedom. That started 3 years of the worst depression ever, a vortex of downward spiral to the point I am now living in a garage. About 4 months ago, I started an online campaign, invited my daughters to join me. They were pissed. Don't embarrass us anymore, Dad. One says, you are dead to me. This is so embarrassing. I have a professional job now. What if they find out? You're so selfish. My other daughter says, I know it was wrong, Dad, but I'm not helping either. I'm done with that part of my life. I've suffered too much. I'm moving on. I can't take any more of the embarrassment of someone finding out. That's when I hit bottom. There in my cave, in my garage. A voice came to me about 3 months ago. The voice said, speak out. Others are in your shoes. This isn't about you and your suffering anymore. Publicly speak out about this injustice. I said, God, I am not qualified to speak on such a hard, difficult, nasty, horrible subject. Please let me stay in my cave, safe from others finding out. The voice said, Michael, in the history of all humanity, I have never, ever, ever called the qualified. I am the one who qualifies the one I call. Allow me to speak through you. Just be a vessel for me. I will do all the work. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with this white elephant in my room. I'm done being shackled to this white elephant. I'm absolutely done with walking into places with this big white elephant that I'm stuck with for the rest of my life. Shackled to the ankle, dragging this big white elephant everywhere that I go. And pretending that this big white elephant is not in the room. I pretend that I don't have this shackled, and I walk into interviews hoping that person doesn't see that big white elephant in the room. And it's huge. It's huge. So what can I do with that big white elephant? What are you guys doing with your big white elephant? Some of you are registered yourself. But I'll tell you what, if you're a mother of a register, you're registered. If you're a brother, if you're a father, if you're a dad, if you're an aunt, an uncle, if you are a family member, if you are a friend, if you are a neighbor, you're registered. because that registration affects you, your family, your neighbors, everyone in your life and in your society. So, what's happening? I got this big white elephant that I'm shackled to for the rest of my life. So what do? Well, I'll tell you what I did. Me and this big white elephant, I created a partnership with him. I decided to embrace him. So, me and my partner here, we kind of getting together. In fact, this is Peanut, my big white elephant. So what does somebody do with their shackled to the biggest white elephant in the country, if not the world, for life? Well, we formed a partnership. Me and Peanut, we're going to hit the road. We formed a carnival. And me and Peanut, we're going to go around this nation talking about the sex offender laws and how it's affecting everyone in this country. That's what we're going to do. What are you going to do with your white elephant? What are you going to do with your white elephant in the room? And I have a message for cyber world. You Googled me. I didn't Google you. You're sitting on the back of your keyboard right now, and you're looking because you Googled this video. And I have the answer to your question. Your question is, how do I get off the sex offender list? Well, you don't. It's not the answer you want, but that's the real answer. If anybody tells you any differently, well, they're lying. Go ahead and search. Go ahead and key punch now. Google any phrase you want. You're not going to get any better answer than one I'm giving you. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, I live in America. This can't happen to an American citizen. I have the U.S. Constitution that's supposed to protect me. And I've got an answer to that too. You're absolutely right. You do have a Constitution, and it is supposed to protect you. But it's not. It's being trampled on. It's being torn up. It's being ripped. It's being burnt. That's the answer to that question. It's not good news. But there is hope. You see, someone took me to a mountaintop, and they showed me the city of hope. And they brought me back to give you a message. I'm supposed to recruit you. The only hope is you going to ReformSOL.com. Contact your RSO representative nearest you. There's thousands and thousands of people in your shoes. Hundreds of thousands of people. 780,000 probably in your shoes. You are not alone. You're on that keypad behind that computer right now. You're not alone. In this room are people waiting for you to call that understand exactly where you're at. And they need you to come on board. I need you to come on board. We need you, but more importantly, you need you. Go to RSOL, Google it, find it, we're waiting for you. I want to mention something my favorite person in the world said, and it's Gandhi. He says, be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you very much for listening to me today.